30 years ago, Foo Fighters wasn't meant to be a band. It was a quiet solo project from Dave Grohl, still reeling from the end of Nirvana, but that low-key debut, it exploded. Today, we're asking the question, does it still rock? In the next 5 minutes, we're cranking up the volume, rewinding the tape, and rediscovering the album that turned pain into power. Let's dive in to the songs, the legacy, and whether or not the Foo Fighters' first roar still echoes today. 30 years ago, a former drummer stepped out of it from behind the kit and into rock history. The world was still reeling from the end of Nirvana, but Dave Grohl, he was just getting started. After the tragic passing of Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl knew one thing and one thing only, and that music would help soothe the soul. In 1995, he picked up that guitar, locked himself away, and laid the foundation for something new, something raw, something loud, and something completely his own. At first, he only planned to press about 100 LPs. No fanfare, no expectations. Just a quiet tribute to his love for music. But what came of those sessions? That was anything but quiet. Sure, in the beginning, everything said, this is the band with the guy from Nirvana. That shadow loomed large, but that narrative faded the moment people actually heard the album itself. Tracks like Big Me and I'll Stick Around weren't just hits, they were statements. They proved Grohl wasn't living in the past, he was carving out a very big future in rock and roll. The touring lineup for the band at the time consisted of Nate Mendel on bass, Pat Smear on guitar, William Goldsmith on drums, and of course, Dave Frontman Grohl front and center on the vocals and on the guitar. The Foo Fighters have consistently been a top band for me personally ever since the very first release. Still an album that I listen to this day and listen to quite heavily, a lot of Foo Fighters music. I recently went back and listened to it again in preparation for this particular video. Not once, not twice, but as always, several times to get that feel, that listen, that vibe of what I was feeling back in 1995 when I first played hands on the CD for the Foo Fighters 1995 debut. And man, it hit me right there. It hit me right there. I was transported straight back to watching the hit list with Tarzan Dan. Yes, the hit list with Tarzan Dan on YTV here in Canada, something that my brother and I used to watch all the time. The moment that the Big Me video hit the screen and Tarzan Dan said, "This is the new band from Dave Grohl of Nirvana." Boom! Our heads exploded. Oh my God. Because again, we were Nirvana fans. I was skeptical until I bought that album. And from that point on, that guy from Nirvana was no longer that guy from Nirvana anymore. He became Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters debut album doesn't just hold up. It defines an entire era. It's sentimental, yes, but it's also essential listening. This isn't just rock history, it's rock evolution. So have you heard the 1995 debut album from the Foo Fighters recently? Or ever? How long has it been since you cranked it up from start to finish? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. What songs still hit for you? And what other debut albums should I review on this show next? And if you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. Tap the notification bell and join us as we explore more music that changed the world. That's it for this look back at the Foo Fighters' explosive debut. Remember, music is a universal language, so when you're having one of those days, let's rock about it.